The column is the new piece I did for this show, so it's being showed here for the first time. Somebody told me that in China they can do this kind of sculptures even on the boat during the trip. And I saw that they do exist, actually, these factory boats where people produce on the boat. The column somehow is this metaphor of something being created in this space of transit. And now it's here at Jeu de Paume, you know, so it arrived in Paris. I was born in Albania in 1969 and grew up there until I was 22. I never left Albania. It was impossible to leave Albania in that period because during that time in Albania we had this communist regime which was really very strict, very rigid. I left Albania for Italy with a scholarship in '92. So it was just 1 year after I finished Art Academy and 1 year after the change, the big change in Albania. Me, my wife, and my daughter was born in Italy in '94, then we moved to Albania, and then in '97 we moved again to Italy. And then my first video was done in '97 when I just heard my daughter telling some stories to her toys. And in these stories she was mixing her fantasy, her desire to play, her desire to have fun or to invent stories with her memories from this kind of war, this kind of trouble that were in Albania in '97. It was this moment where I was like trying to figure out what kind of language I would use, you know, what kind of expression I will build, you know. This moving from one country to another, this moving from one kind of society to another, brought a lot of unexpected and unpredictable, you know, experiences around me and around my work. And my work somehow is marked by these moments of change. I start being interested in these spaces in between, in these moments where one thing is losing its own identity and it's entering in a new dimension without getting totally another identity, you know? And Centro di Permanenza Temporanea is about that space in between. And of course, it is about migration, but it's not only about migration. It's about this state of being. It's about this existential moment where you leave one state of being and start going to another state, but you don't reach that. Thinking about how things gain somehow another dimension when they change. When they lose something, they gain something, you know, they get something. So I was imagining the roof, like putting it upside down, and suddenly it becomes like the wings. Instead of protecting you, is bring you somewhere else. This way, the Home to Go came out, like it came out in two versions. It's not a performance, it's a photographic piece, but it has somehow, it has this dynamic aspect on it. Vaitoitsa, it was this desire, my desire, you know, personal desire to experience the lament of my own funeral. You know, these mourners are invited to cry, and they give to the funeral some a fictional element and a very real fact, like the death. You know. My father was a painter, so I was playing in his studio as a child, you know, with his colors. And then he died when I was very young. I was 6 when he passed away. So before I was doing the series of painting called The Wedding, it was the relation between me and this tape that I had with me, and the desire to look at it and to stop it and to see the frames and to paint them. And then I thought I could do the same with the film, with the Pasolini's film. But it was more like a desire to deal with these images, to deal with his way of looking at things. You know? My experience with video somehow influenced a lot the way I was painting, the way I decided to paint, and let's say. Because using a tool that I was not an expert to use, placing in the center the necessity to use a tool like the video, moved or changed somehow even my experience with painting.
Tickle that ink.
I think that the Lives in Transit really, it's a good title for my work in general, because things are always changing, you know, things are always in this state of becoming something else. So yeah, Lives in Transit.